A little while ago, the DayZ devs released a new dev blog for DayZ Frostline, and in this one they are showcasing some of the new environmental hazards that are going to be coming with this DLC. So in this dev blog, they go through some of the new hazards that are in this DLC, and one of them is heavy metal poisoning, and they also show off some of the new heat comfort and discomfort changes that are coming to DayZ. So first of all, we'll go through the new heavy metal poisoning. They go on to say heavy metal poisoning is contracted when a player consumes water or snow that has been contaminated by volcanic ash, a scenario all too possible in the snowy wasteland of Sakal. They then go on to say the disease has multiple stages, each marked by increasing severe symptoms and penalties. We won't spoil the fun of finding out. The most important part to remember is the fallen snow on Sakal is consumable, but with harsh risks if consumed without proper filtration. Then they go on to show ways of how you can consume the snow, the unsafe consumption of snow, which also has new animations. Basically, the player is scooping up snow in his hand and eating it down to just try and stay hydrated. While the safe way of consuming snow is getting one of these new water filtration bottles, filling it with snow so it filters all of the contaminants out of the snow and then you can drink it safely. And there's also new animations for the player scooping the bottle filled with snow. And then they go on to show a little sneak peek of what happens when you do contract the poisoning, and you can see your vision gets quite blurry, and there's a new effect on there as well, so you start like seeing double. So they're looking at Zeds, you can kind of see the Zeds nearly in a double kind of way, which is going to be very interesting to kind of manage if you're in a PvP fight and you suddenly contract this disease. It's going to make things very, very interesting. But thankfully, we will be able to tackle this new sickness with the new chelating drugs that they're adding into the game. So these can cure the sickness that we will get, and you can also use them to purify water. They then go on to show the filtering bottle. So basically, this is a drinking container. It has a built-in filter in it, and then you can basically scoop up snow. As it'll melt, it'll go through the filter, holding all of the contaminants, and then dropping the fresh water into the bottle, which you can then drink. And then they go on to talk about heat comfort and discomfort. So they're changing the way the heat buff works and the heat system works in the game by the looks of it. And they go on to say the heat comfort system is a sophisticated feature designed to simulate authentic effects of temperature, gear, and environment. The heat comfort system is a sophisticated feature designed to simulate authentic effects of gear, temperature, and environment on the player's body temperature. Whether you're exploring the snowy expanses of Sakal or navigating the familiar landscapes of Chernarus or Livonia, knowing how to maintain your comfort will be crucial. So even from that short statement, it does look like these changes will be coming to Chernarus and Livonia as well. Then they go on to talk about critical features affecting heat comfort. Some of these include environmental conditions such as air temperature, altitude, and weather phenomena like snow and rain. Another one is player actions and conditions, so movement speed, wetness level, and the persistence of heat or cold. Gear and clothing, the insulation value of your clothing, the condition, and whether or not they're wet and dry. And food consumption. The temperature of food you will consume will also impact your heat comfort. Hot food will actually damage your health, while warm food will provide you with a bonus to your heat comfort. Food in the normal state will be neutral. Chilly and cold food will lower your temperature, and frozen food will not be consumable unless you defrost it. So it's going to be interesting, especially on the hot food one. It's going to be interesting to see how much that can affect your health in game. And they go on to show some of the new icons that you will see. So you have hot, warm, neutral, chilly, cold, and frozen cold. Then they go on to talk about the impact of discomfort. Failing to manage your heat comfort leads to various penalties affecting your water and energy consumption, health, and even your ability to handle weapons steadily. So it'll be interesting to see how much weigh or shake it adds to your weapon as you're trying to ADS, for example, maybe get a shot on a player. And then they want to talk about ways to make sure you don't get into this discomfort level. So making sure your clothing is in good condition. They say pristine items will offer full heat insulation. Wet or damaged clothing will reduce your thermal comfort. Seeking shelter during storms, snowstorms, rainstorms will be crucial, and utilizing heat sources like fires and other heat sources that will be available on the map. And then they go on to show some of the new icon changes that will be available. So obviously at the moment we have different color ranges. So blue is freezing, light blue is cold, white is kind of neutral, and then red is hot. And as well, you have the white, but with the plus sign next to it, which means a heat buff. And in this one, it looks like we get 3 plus signs next to each other instead of just the standard 1. So it looks like you'll be able to handle your heat buff even more by the looks of it. And that'll be able to go up and down depending on your comfort levels. The more heat comfort you have, the higher they'll be. The less you have, the lower they'll be. But it's interesting to see. It looks like we're going to be getting some new challenges for the new map, which is always great. Looks like it might become a little bit more complicated, especially starting off. It's going to be interesting to see if players remember that these features are in and will instantly go and drink snow and get poisoned or freeze to death. It'll be interesting as well if we'll get frostbite as a player. Like, are they going to introduce that as an option? Who knows? We'll probably have to wait and see. It's going to be interesting to see what all the effects are, because they didn't show them off because they want us to see them in game. So that's going to be quite cool to see. But yeah, I'm excited for it. It looks pretty good, quite detailed as well, which is nice to see. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments section down below. I want to hear them as per usual, but I think it's going to be pretty cool. I have no complaints about it so far. But until then, I should catch you guys in the next one. So peace out for now.